Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Landon, and today what we're going to be doing is actually comparing two arguably of the best players in Call of Duty history. As you guys can tell, my face will not be in this video, unfortunately. I know everyone likes to see my face and whatnot, it's beautiful. Regardless of that, this is basically going to be a video, a photos and a bunch of videos from these players that we've been mentioning about. So that's why you're not going to see my face. Kind of just want to talk about them. Don't really want to focus on myself rather than focus on the players that I'm going to be comparing. So the two players that I'm going to be comparing, honestly, to me, could be arguably the two best players in Call of Duty history based on championships. Now, skill, you could argue that, Scump could be one of the top players, but Obs Gaming, doesn't necessarily have as many championships as Complexity has had and whatnot. So, keeping that in mind, I don't want anyone to think this is necessarily skill-based only. While skill-based is kind of mentioned in this, this is based on championships. Who is the best player of all time? A lot of the times we'll see, players based on who's the best of all time based on championships. And I don't like that. LeBron, I'm not trying to, love LeBron or, not hate on him or anything. But, LeBron's considered one of the best players of all time. People say that, certain players are better because they have more championships than him. That's not necessarily true. So I don't want anyone to think that. This is just from looking back at it, who thinks who is the best out of these two. And the two players that we're going to be comparing are Aches and Clayster. Now, you guys know both of these players very well if you follow competitive Call of Duty. Two, arguably, to me, overall, the top 5 players of all time. I have both of these guys in my list 100%. These guys have absolutely dominated the Call of Duty scene over the titles of, stretching back from Aches to Modern Warfare 2 and all the way up to where we're at now in Advanced Warfare, and probably on they'll be playing and whatnot. So what we're going to be doing is comparing the two, who has the most championships, kind of talk about them, give them a background, and talk about how they did together, because if you guys didn't know, they actually played together on Complexity for a little bit of time. So what we're going to be doing, starting off with Aches, we're going to kind of go over his championships, kind of his background, and go over, maybe even compare the two, and later give my predictions, or you could kind of argue who is the best player out of the two. So, starting off with Aches. Aches is a 19-time Major LAN winner, technically the most winningest player in Call of Duty history right now. People ask, is Crim close? Yes, Crim 6, if you guys didn't know, Crim 6, currently on Optic Gaming, is at 17 championships. Do I think that he will get to that point where he can tie Aches later this year? Absolutely, I do, but that's not important right now. So let's go and give a start off where Aches has started. Aches started playing competitive Call of Duty, or at least, competing on LANs at least, in Modern Warfare 2, later went over to Black Ops 1, didn't actually play MW3, went on to Black Ops 2, then to COD Ghosts, and where he is today at Advanced Warfare. The teams he's played on Leverage, he's played on VWS Leverage, not sure who that is, might just been a spin-off of their team. Later went to Leverage again, then to Quantic Leverage, where he played with players like Scump, like Proof, like Teep, and so on and so forth. Later went to Complexity, the best team in Call of Duty history, later which formed into EG, or Evil Geniuses. Later went to FaZe, then to FaZe Red, then to Envy for a short time, and now currently on Prophecy. He's won a number of different events. He's won MLG events. He's won a Gfinity, a Frag Cup 4, which doesn't technically count as a major LAN win. I know I would add that and whatnot, but technically it's not added. He's won a UMGs. He's won SWC. He's won COD Champs, which is absolutely insane. And he's also won a UGC, which isn't also added to this list as well. The only event he does not have to win, that he's once, like a major LAN event that he has not won, is X Games. The next X Games is actually June 4th through the 7th. One of the next events that's coming up. Definitely excited for that. We're going to see, maybe if he gets this, he could have possibly every single event to win out there he's won. So that's kind of interesting to see. An amazing player. Aches, to me, was the top 5 player in Black Ops 2. That's really where I watched him at. Ghost, a great player as well, not taking anything from him, but honestly, Aches was one of the best players that I've ever seen in Black Ops 2. Absolutely dominated with the Complexity team. Won so many championships. You can't even add how many championships he's won. Aches is kind of perceived as kind of the villain of the Call of Duty scene. He's not really noted as, anyone's necessarily favorite player. Well, I do like Aches. He does have, that cocky sense about him, but we kind of need that. There's always going to be someone out there, and, Aches has always taken on that role and really enjoyed kind of being the bad guy, to say the least. So let's go and move on to our next player, which is Clayster. Clayster has won 9 major MLG LAN, or not, I should say not MLG. He's won 9 major LAN events. He's been playing since MW3, later went to Black Ops 2, then to COD Ghosts, and where he is today on Advanced Warfare. The teams that he's played on Obey. Actually, for at COD Champs, he played on Obey. I'm not making fun of Obey, just he played for them at COD Champs. He's also played on Roughnecks. I think that's how you say it, Roughnecks. He also later went to Unite, later in Black Ops 2. Then he went to Complexity. Later after that, he went for one event at UMG Philly to TK. After that, we all know, went to Optic Gaming, then to Envy, and where he is currently on Denial, just actually won COD Champs 2015. Congratulations to him, by the way. Amazing player, definitely the MVP of that tournament. He actually got awarded that. So Clay, he's won every major event that you can possibly win up to right now. He's won an MLG event, he's won Gfinity, he's won a UMG, an ESWC, he's obviously won X Games last year, and he's also just now won COD Champs. So if you guys didn't know, he actually didn't win COD Champs with Complexity. Your Karma was actually later his fill-in. On Complexity/EG, which would later happen. So together they started playing together whenever they picked up Clay, who I believe was for Fears on Complexity. They started in Black Ops 2 at MLG Anaheim. That was their first event, ended up winning that one, and they later stretched their win streak kind of to the MLG Falls Championships and COD Ghosts. The events they played 8 events together, and out of those events, they won 7 out of the 8 of them, and the one event they didn't win, they got second. So that's a pretty good run, to be honest. I believe that was PAX Prime, the MLG PAX Prime Invitational, I believe, was the one that they didn't win, got second in that event as well. So we all know that later Clayster did get traded for Karma, and they later did win COD Champs and kind of went on to EG, and they all kind of split apart after some drama and whatnot. But regardless, Complexity, definitely the best team in Call of Duty history, the best team that Call of Duty has ever seen. To me, Clayster was absolutely the main player on that team. You could argue that Karma played for a little bit of time, and he played and whatnot. And definitely, I think you could definitely add Karma into that mix of being the top players on Complexity. But regardless, the best team to me, if they were to play each other, would be the team with Clayster. Clayster, a dominant player. We all know Clay has been an amazing player. We all loved him in Optic Gaming. Really, really did well for his team. And along with that, Clay has always just been that player that we want to see succeed. On Complexity, we're kind of like, this guy's good. What does he provide? And he's definitely shown over the years how much skill he really has. He's won a lot of events. I think he placed top 24 in one event, but regardless of that, I don't think he's placed out of the top 12 besides that. So, Clayster, an amazing, amazing player. To me, was the best player in Black Ops 2 when he was on Unite. You could argue he didn't really have the best teammates, which I totally agree with, but was an absolute dominant player on Unite. I can't even explain how insane he was on that team. But regardless, let's get to comparing the two and who was better. So keep in mind, this is not based on skill-wise for me. I think right now, Clayster is definitely the better player skill-wise over Aches. But looking at who's won the more championships, Aches has won twice as much, and even one more after that, more championships than Clayster has. Aches has won 19 times. Clayster has won 9. However, you could say he's won the X Games. Clayster has won X Games. I'm not taking anything away from Clayster by any means. I absolutely love Clay. Clay is one of my favorite players of all time. I'm not taking anything away from him. But comparing the two, you have to look at who's won the most, who's dominated the most, and over the Call of Duty titles, who has been the most consistent. And to say that, you have to say it's Aches. To me, based on championships-wise, and people could argue now, Aches isn't the best player anymore. He's not been playing very well in Advanced Warfare, and I totally agree with that. Players are always going to be a little bit different skill-wise in the games they play. One player might be amazing at Black Ops 2 and weren't very good in Ghost, and maybe they're a lot better in Advanced Warfare. To me, Haggy or Parasite wasn't very good in COD Ghosts, but he's definitely, to me, a top 5 player in Advanced Warfare. It's just based on how the games play. They're a lot different. All these games are completely different, and to me, overall of that, Aches winning as many championships as he had. I'm trying to count how many in a row he won. He won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 events in a row in Black Ops 2 through Ghost. An amazing, amazing run, to be honest with you. I honestly, no one can really compare to Aches. You could argue Crim 6 in a way. Crim 6 has won almost as many events Obviously, as Aches only has 17. But to me, comparing these two, it has to be Aches. Like I said, I think Aches is an amazing player, one of the best players, arguably the best player of all time. A lot of people don't like to say that because he's kind of the villain, like I said, of the Call of Duty scene as a whole. But you gotta hand it to Aches. Aches definitely an amazing player. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave it a nice thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments, who do you guys think, in your personal opinion, is the best player of all time? Regardless if it's these two, I want to know your guys' opinions. Maybe we'll compare some more players in the future. Let me know down in the comments as well if you guys would like to see that. Like I said, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to click on the links down below. That really does help me out. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube as well if you guys also really enjoyed it. I keep saying if you guys enjoyed it, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys later. Have a great day, and peace out.